Hello, I'm Barbara O'Neill. Today we're tackling a topic that often gets a bad rap: cholesterol. The popular belief is that cholesterol is bad, but cholesterol plays essential roles in the body. Did you know that 70% of people have cholesterol levels that require attention to maintain optimal health? We'll uncover its functions, its impact on health, and practical insights to help you manage cholesterol effectively. I'm going to uncover the truth about cholesterol that will leave you in a state of disbelief. So stay tuned as we uncover the truth about this crucial substance in our bodies.
So let's have a look at cholesterol. It's a good time to look at it because the liver makes cholesterol. And by the way, it makes cholesterol according to the demand our body puts on it. And 80% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from glucose. And 20% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from fat. Now, this information tells us straight away it's not the butter on the bread, it's the bread under the butter that's the problem. And that's what Atkins found. So let's have a look at cholesterol. There are two main types. One is high-density lipoprotein called HDL, high-density lipoprotein, and LDL. HDL is usually called the good guy, and the reason for that is it's the carrier. So it carries excess cholesterol from the blood back into the liver. That's why it's called the good guy. LDL is called the bad guy. But what you've got to remember is the body doesn't make anything bad. It has a role. So what is its role? Its role is that of a repairer and a rebuilder. So wherever there's damage, you're going to find LDL because it's the repairer and the rebuilder. But it plays another role. It delivers cholesterol to the brain because the brain loves cholesterol. Cholesterol to the brain. Now let me show you something briefly. We're going to look at this in further detail later. Glucose burns at 4 calories per gram. A calorie is a unit of energy. That's what glucose burns at. Whereas fat burns at 9 calories per gram. Can you see why the brain loves fat? Because fat is going to give more than twice the units of energy, and our brain cells, they're consuming fuel fast. Let's have a look at the blood vessel and how the cholesterol works in the blood vessel. Because of its low density, LDL is always on the edge. Because of its high density, HDL is always in the middle. Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, who wrote the book Put Your Heart in Your Mouth, she spends the first 4 chapters of her book defining what damages the arterial wall. See, the arterial walls are lined with little endothelium cells, and chemicals damage them. Heavy metals damage them. There's your mercuries. Also, what damages them is mold. And we're exposed to, she defines, the reason why it's 4 chapters, she defines all the different chemicals. They're in toothpaste, they're in food. What's going to plug the holes up, students? The LDL cholesterol, that's its role, that's its job. So it comes along and it plugs up. If it doesn't plug the hole up, we would bleed into the tissues. Can you see that? So they're like the Band-Aid. But the person doesn't realize that the moldy house is killing them. The person doesn't realize the 4,000 cigarettes, 4,000 chemicals that are in a cigarette. So they keep smoking. They don't realize the danger in their washing detergents, in their toothpaste. So can you see that it's still happening? And they read an article that says, no, mercury does not kill you at all. Well, they haven't read the science. You know, it's a neurotoxin. Can you see what's happening? Something else is happening. So all through the bloodstream, we've got little molecules of protein. When a person is on a high carbohydrate diet, releasing a lot of glucose into the blood, the glucose connects with the protein molecules, and these little combinations become sticky, and they stick. And let's say we've got a narrow piece here and they come along and oops, they've caused a blockage. That is the number one cause of heart disease. That is the number one cause of a stroke.
These blockages caused by sticky combinations of glucose and protein molecules are the primary mechanism behind heart disease and strokes. Understanding cholesterol's role in this process is crucial. HDL, the good cholesterol, acts as a scavenger, transporting excess cholesterol from the bloodstream back to the liver for processing or excretion. In contrast, LDL, often labeled as bad cholesterol, facilitates repair but can lead to plaque buildup if levels are excessive. This plaque narrows arteries, reducing blood flow and increasing the risk of cardiovascular events.
Illustrate, I had a lady and a man attend my programs in New Zealand. I think that was about 2 years ago. They were in their early 70s. Tuesday night I spoke on heart disease, where I revealed what's happening with cholesterol, the truth on cholesterol. They came to me on Thursday. They said, we need to talk to you. I said, yes. The man looked at his wife and she just had her head down. He said, we're about to put my wife in aged care. He said she was leaving the iron on. We got to the point where we won't be able to handle her. He said, we came to your lecture and we heard what the cholesterol-lowering medication does. She's been on it for 10 years. It was Lipitor. There's a whole book written on the dangers of Lipitor. He said, so we stopped because they heard me say there will be a side effect to stopping Lipitor. Your memory will return. So this is a drug a person can be on 10 years and just stop. The side effects will be beneficial. He said to me, we're on our 3rd day, and he said, I've got my wife back. He said, we are not putting her, we did not want to, but he said it was getting so difficult. And they both had tears in their eyes. How many people are in aged care with dementia and Alzheimer's and memory loss, and it's the cholesterol-lowering medication? I believe personally this verges on criminal, especially when you hear what I'm about to say. It was probably 5 years ago now at Living Springs Retreat. We had a scientist do our program with his wife, who was a nutritionist. They're both in their late 60s. She's 69. She said, I've been a nutritionist for 40 years. So she said, I was educated in university 40 years ago, and she said, 40 years ago we were told that a cholesterol level of 300 and under was perfectly normal. Has the body changed? No. So can you see what medicine has done? They've dropped the levels. They now say that if you are over 190, you're a walking, talking heart attack. I have had people say that to me. One girl was 30, her cholesterol levels were 192, and the doctor said, you've got to go on cholesterol-lowering medication. 30!
This shift in medical guidelines has led to a widespread increase in the prescription of cholesterol-lowering medications, often without considering individual patient circumstances or potential side effects. Statins, such as Lipitor, are among the most commonly prescribed drugs for reducing cholesterol. While they can effectively lower LDL levels, they also come with a range of side effects, including muscle pain, liver damage, and cognitive issues like memory loss. It's important to recognize that cholesterol itself is not inherently bad. It plays vital roles in our bodies, such as forming cell membranes, producing hormones, and aiding in digestion through bile acids. The demonization of cholesterol has led many to overlook these crucial functions. Diet and lifestyle changes can have a significant impact on cholesterol levels and overall heart health. Reducing the intake of refined carbohydrates, increasing physical activity, and incorporating healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, and fish can help maintain balanced cholesterol levels without solely relying on medication. Education and personalized healthcare approaches are key to addressing heart disease effectively.
A study was developed or started, I should say. A study was started in the little town of Framingham. In the little town of Framingham, 30,000 people were assessed. This has been going for 30 years. They started it to prove that cholesterol causes heart disease, but it hasn't. It hasn't at all. Some people with low cholesterol levels are having heart attacks. We had a lady from England do our program. She said, I had a heart attack recently and I had a cholesterol level of 150. She said they did an angiogram, my arteries were clear. What happened there? She was under great stress. You know, great stress can constrict the arteries. There are many factors that come into play, as you probably can see. But what this study showed, the Framingham Heart Study, that's what it's called, it showed that people with high cholesterol levels don't get Alzheimer's. Why don't they get Alzheimer's? Because what does the brain love? Fat. So what's a good cholesterol level? Oh, probably 200, 250. So see what's happened? They've got many people on cholesterol-lowering medication. They've got everyone on the fat-free diet, and because you're not getting the feeling of satiation or satisfaction when you eat, the person eats huge amounts of carbs. They've lowered the cholesterol level so they can get more people on cholesterol-lowering medication, and people are eating margarine. Oh, surely all of that has reduced heart disease. No, it's still the #1 killer.
This continued focus on lowering cholesterol levels through medication and dietary restrictions has not addressed the root causes of heart disease effectively. Instead, it has led to unintended consequences, such as increased consumption of carbohydrates and processed foods, which can contribute to other health issues like obesity and diabetes. It's essential to take a holistic approach to heart health, considering factors like stress management, regular exercise, and a balanced diet rich in whole foods. Education and awareness are key, enabling individuals to make informed decisions about their health and avoid unnecessary reliance on medications that may have significant side effects.
The problem. One has to ask why if the cholesterol levels are high. Atkins found on his dietary program, where the people are eating cream, butter, cheese, eggs, meat, their cholesterol levels went down. Whew. He found his patients with high triglyceride levels came down. He was so excited about this, he went into the medical journals to see if there was research to prove what he was finding, and there was. In fact, in the 1980s, there was research that proved that dietary cholesterol in the food, had little or no effect on blood cholesterol levels. Atkins found, and this, you might find this interesting, he found that fibre was an essential nutrient. These are the 3 essentials. Fibre is essential. In what way is fibre essential? Our gastrointestinal tract needs to be swept every day, and it is fibre that sweeps it. Our gastrointestinal tract doesn't work without the movement. If the sewerage system slows down, the whole body gets poisoned. But it is in the fibre part of the food, in your whole grain pastas, whole grain rices, breads, grains, that's where most of your B vitamins are. Once you throw the fibre away, you've thrown a lot of the essential vitamins. Atkins also found that protein is an essential nutrient. In what way is protein essential? The membrane around every cell in your body is 50% protein. Do you remember yesterday I talked about the double helix strand of the DNA? The crossword bands are amino acids. What are amino acids? Let me show you. This is protein. This is what protein looks like under a microscope. In your gastrointestinal tract, enzymes break that protein down to peptides and polypeptides. And then those peptides and polypeptides come down into your small intestine, and enzymes from your pancreas break them down into amino acids. Only as amino acids can they be then absorbed out of your hollow tube and into your blood and become part of your body. So basically, protein is made up of amino acids. I found it interesting when I read of Florence Nightingale that when she had very sick, weak patients, she would give them raw milk or beef tea. What do raw milk or beef tea contain? Both contain protein in a very simple, usable form. Your body cannot heal without protein. On a low protein diet, the body cannot heal. I've had some very sick people come to our health retreat who've been on raw food or fasting for a couple of years. They haven't had enough protein to heal. So you know what I do? I blast them with protein. My son James, he's got arms like my thighs, and he does bodybuilding and he does it only with natural food. And he actually trains quite a few people. And James is like me, very hard to put on weight. He's worked very hard at these muscles here. What does he eat? A lot of protein. Every single meal has the protein. You cannot build without the protein. Atkins also found that fat is an essential nutrient. You know what that means? We cannot function properly without it. And the membrane around every cell in the body is 50% protein, 50% fat. The membrane around the nucleus, the membrane around the ribosome, the membrane around the little mitochondria, all these little functions inside every cell in the body is 50% protein, 50% fat. Does that make it pretty essential? It does. We need to be greased and oiled. And every lady that comes here on a fat-free diet, she's got a whole bag full of moisturizers, because what's happening to her skin? It's just drying out. And it gets really dry, the moisturizers go on. How does it feel half an hour later? Same. And they say, Barbara, what do you put on your skin? I say, nothing. Nothing. Not a single cent do I spend on anything I put on my skin. But you know what I eat a nice amount of? Fat. I'd rather do that. I'd rather spend money on beautiful olive oil, beautiful coconut oil, top quality nuts and seeds, chia seeds, avocados. I'd much rather do that. I'd much rather my dollar go there. Because we like eating, don't we? And the food should taste fantastic and be of good quality. If it is, your hair will shine. If it is, the skin will work. Your eyes will see. Your ears will hear. The whole of our body is an illustration of the integrity and the strength and the nutritional value of every cell. And remember, that's what we are, just a bunch of cells. That's why we have to heal from the cell.
It is important to note that while dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels, the body still needs cholesterol for various functions. Cholesterol is essential for producing hormones, vitamin D, and bile acids, which help digest fat. The liver produces most of the body's cholesterol, and only a small portion comes from food. Therefore, focusing on a balanced diet with healthy fats, fiber, and protein is crucial. Consuming natural, unprocessed foods helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels and supports overall well-being, reducing the risk of heart disease and other health issues.
Because there's a lot of really misinformation about cholesterol. So with cholesterol, 80% of the cholesterol that the liver makes is made from glucose. And 20% of the cholesterol that the body makes is made from fat. You see that equation? It's not the butter on the bread, it's the bread under the butter that's the problem. And last night we looked at the dangers of wheat and how when the wheat was hybridized in the 1950s, it produced a type of wheat that is very difficult for the body to handle. Now last night we looked at how it gets the blood sugar level up higher than even sugar because of the type of starch that was created in the hybridization process. And in a minute I'm going to show you the gluten and how it actually affects the function of the heart. But first of all, we'll look at cholesterol. Now there are two types of cholesterol, two main types. There's high-density lipoprotein called HDL, and LDL is the low-density lipoprotein. So let me draw a heart vessel here and show you what's happening in the heart. Because HDL and LDL, they're like the maintenance team on the blood vessels in the body. And HDL's role is to carry away excess cholesterol. So it's called the carrier. Whereas LDL, it's the repairer and the rebuilder. That's its role in the body. So when you consider that LDL is the repairer and the rebuilder, where are you going to find LDL? You'll find LDL wherever there's a need for repair, wherever there's a need for rebuilding. So the two different types of cholesterol are high-density lipoprotein, HDL, and low-density lipoprotein. Because of its low density, LDL is always found on the edge of the blood vessel. And because of its high density lipoprotein is always found in the middle. That's where you'll find the two different types of cholesterol. Now let's say a person is a smoker, 4,000 chemicals in one cigarette, and that can cause damage in the arterial wall. So the chemicals in cigarettes can cause a hole in the arterial wall. Mercury, it's a neurotoxin. It can cause a hole to be made in the arterial wall. Yeast or mold in the blood can cause a hole to be made in the wall. And if the person's on a high wheat, high sugar, high alcohol diet, feeding the yeast, can you see what's happening? What's going to plug up the hole in the arterial wall? LDL. LDL plugs it up. Remember what LDL is? The repairer and the rebuilder. It'll plug up the hole. That's what it does. Now what's supposed to happen is the person's supposed to stop smoking. The person's supposed to get out of the mouldy house. The person's supposed to get the mercury fillings out of their mouth, or instead of having tuna and salad for lunch, they have hummus or lentil burgers and salad for lunch. The person's supposed to stop smoking and drinking and high wheat, high sugar. And at the same time, that's a person's supposed to be eating highly nourishing food. So where's your fibre? All your plant food, plant-based have fibre, your whole foods. Where's your protein? Your protein is found in your legumes, your lentils, chickpeas, lima beans, tofu, only if it's organic, nuts and seeds. And where's your fats, your nuts and your seeds, and also your coconut oils, your olive oils? When a person is eating those nutrients, the body can heal the hole. Can you see that? All those nutrients basically are all the building materials that the body needs to heal the hole. And then HDL comes along and takes away the excess cholesterol. Can you see how these two work together?
Maintaining a healthy balance of cholesterol is essential. Lifestyle choices like eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats can boost HDL levels and lower LDL levels, thereby supporting heart health. Regular physical activity and avoiding smoking also play significant roles in managing cholesterol and promoting cardiovascular well-being. Thanks for joining me today as we explore the importance of cholesterol for our health. I hope you found these insights useful for your journey to better health. If you have any questions or need more information, drop a comment below. I'm eager to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more health tips, and check out our other videos for even more ways to live a vibrant and fulfilling life.